Okay, hello everyone. I am very excited because today I'm going to break down my official 3.91 second 3x3 solve, which again, you've probably all seen the video and read the description by now. But this ranks me, as of today, 18th in the world, 3rd in Europe, and 2nd in the UK. It was NR at the time until about a minute later Aiden beat it on the same scramble with a 3.69, which I'll also talk about later. But either way, I am insanely happy with this. I don't think I'll ever beat it in comp, and to be honest, I'm okay with that. Knowing that I got the UK's first ever sub 4 and I was the second European ever to get a sub 4 behind Timon is absolutely mental. And so I'm going to show you what I did. So here we go. The scramble I'll put on the screen so you can follow along. So this is what I got. The first thing I saw obviously was these two solved yellow cross edges, and the other two are here and here. And the other things I noticed were this edge was solved, then its corresponding corner is here, and then we have this free pair. Now, if you were to insert this edge with like an F2, for example, or an R2 from this angle, this pair would end up in the wrong slot. This edge would get unsolved. So that's not a very good thing to do. But what I realized you could do at the time was set up this edge to here with an L move, so that when you insert this this edge with an F2 then, this edge will end up here, and then it's just one move away from being solved. And what that also does, it preserves this edge, that will stay where it is. This corner will come up to here, and specifically the yellow side of this corner will be on this side, and this free pair will end up here, with obviously the yellow facing forwards. And so then what I realized I could do from that was insert this corner from here into here with keyhole, and that would also not break up this pair. So I could go straight in then to inserting this pair into the front. And I planned all that in about 5 or 6, maybe 7 seconds. You can see from the video that I didn't get to the 8-second mark. And to be honest, that's quite surprising. Obviously, this is a relatively short cross solution, quite easy to plan, but at the same time, I very rarely plan 2 pairs in inspection, so I was pretty pleased with how that went, all things considered. So the cross solution goes like this: L, F2, L prime, R prime. Then we have this first pair, we do D prime, L, U, L prime, D. And then I've got this pair straight into this slot, so I rotated, and then as I was doing that I did see this pair. Now from here, when you've got 2 pairs that go into adjacent slots that are opposite each other, there is a very easy multi-slot to do, which is to just sledge in this pair, but before you do the last move you do a U and then the F, and obviously that's only 5 moves. That's the very good solution generally speaking, but here in this case, as you can see, we now don't have all our edges oriented, and this pair into the back right is quite bad. So instead, what I did, and also this is partly because I had planned to do this pair in inspection, I just went straight in and inserted that, and it broke up this pair, but I don't think that's a bad thing, because having planned all of this in inspection and then seeing that pair as I was solving this pair, I knew straight away what my next pair was going to be. It was going to be this pair, so I went straight in. I was looking ahead to that and I went straight into it, and I think that was still a fine solution. Having said that, if I'd seen this pair is actually better than this pair just from this position in general, forgetting about whether I'd seen this or not, because this can be solved just like that, but again that leaves us with not a great pair here, and as I said, I'd planned this, so it made sense just to go straight into it. You do need to rotate to solve for this pair, which is, fine, honestly, and it also means that this edge, because it's orientation neutral, that means it's in a slot and it's oriented when it's in the slot. So even when you rotate, it's still oriented relative to the center it's going to be solved on. So that's quite useful. And in terms of just how the rest of the solve played out, that was very fortunate. So anyway, I went onto this pair straight away, solved them just in the normal way like that, and then that gave me this pair, which again I can see obviously got all edges oriented. And if you're able to recognize corners for this case, which I now can, you will be able to see that the corner orientation is also going to skip. So I paired up the pair like that and then inserted, and I think you can see what's probably going to happen here. Last layer skip with no AUF. So that solve was 29 moves in 3.91 seconds, which means I executed at 7.4 TPS, which, to be honest, for a last layer skip solve, I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's about as well as I could have done. I obviously can turn a lot faster than that. A lot of my solves I can get to about 8 TPS, and I think that's quite good. But especially in comp, I tend to get a little bit nervous. My turning isn't as accurate, it's a bit shaky sometimes. So recently I've been trying to sort of slow down a little bit, but mainly focus on controlling my turning, which I think is really, really important going forward, because the more control I have, the easier it's going to be to speed up and actually stay fast and get good turning at a higher speed. So I think that solve is about as perfect as it could have gone for me. I don't think I could have done it really any faster. I think my recognition was good. I planned 2 pairs, which were, perfectly done, very well solved. I did break up the free pair, but as I said, I think sticking with what I'd planned and then having great look ahead and going straight into that was not a bad decision at all. I completely stand by this solution. And as it turned out, there may have been an even better one. So I'll do the scramble again, and this time I will talk about Aiden's solution, because I think it definitely is worth mentioning. So Aiden actually did exactly the same cross as I did, and he solved the same first 2 pairs, this pair and this pair, except he actually did them in a different order. Aiden did the free pair first and then cancelled into solving this pair, not even with keyhole, just the normal 2-gen way. So I'll show you how that works. So we had the same cross, and then from here Aiden chose to rotate, or if you want to think about it as like a wide D move, it's basically the same. It's a rotation and a U move, and then inserted this pair with R prime U2 R, and then was able to cancel in straight into this pair like that, and inserted it there. One thing a couple of people mentioned in the Discord when we were talking about it was, is it not better to do the U2 first and then insert this pair like that? The difference is, of course, that means this corner is oriented, which now this case is no longer very good. Even if without the cancellation, which Aiden did do, he saw this cancellation, which is definitely optimal way of doing it. Even without that, inserting that pair with R prime U2R is definitely the best way to go about it if you want to do the free pair first. So then Aiden got here, there was a little tiny pause, it rotated to have the solved pairs in the back, and again, as you can see now, we've got all edges oriented, including these 2, our last F2L edges. And we do have this pair that we can make here, again a 5 mover, but to solve it in the best way you would have to rotate. That's something I didn't quite realize. We both had 5 movers that weren't the best pair to do in the scenario. That's quite cool as well. But either way, the best pair is definitely this one, as you can see. Just the normal solution, you would do L prime U2 L to pair it up, and then U prime L prime U L to insert, and that gives us this free pair. And again, you can probably spot what's about to happen. Last layer skip, this time with a U2 AUF. Now, I don't know what the chances are of 2 people getting 3s on the same scramble with different solutions that both led to a last layer skip. Some people who are funny might say that the chances are 50-50, either it happens or it doesn't, and to be honest, I'm quite surprised that no one has said that yet. But either way, this was obviously a remarkable stroke of fortune for the both of us. And Aiden's solution actually was 3 moves shorter than mine. It was 26 moves. And even though his first 2 pairs were slightly longer than mine, I think it was 1, maybe 2 moves difference, because he had the cancellation between inserting the first 2 pairs. But I did keyhole for one of mine, so one of my pairs was 5 moves long. Aiden obviously got a free pair for his last pair, and that saved him a few moves over my last 2 pairs, which were both 7 or 8 moves each. So yeah, obviously Aiden's solution was shorter, and Aiden actually across the solve had an average of 7.0 TPS, which is quite interesting because in the video his turning probably looks a little bit faster, and I think it actually is. I think Aiden's peak turning is faster than mine, but again, Aiden had a couple of pauses that I think were slightly longer than any of mine, so that may have played into it as well. That's probably why my TPS was a bit more consistent. But either way, the bottom line is Aiden's solve was faster, and again, honestly, I'm not mad about it. I don't mind. I'm just completely shocked to have gotten a solve that is not only well below the world record from when I started cubing, but is also an overall PB. It was national record at the time. That's absolutely mental. And again, in the video of the solve, you probably noticed there was a tiny delay in my reaction, and even then my reaction wasn't even very good. I just sort of put my hands on my head and stood up. But that is because this was so unexpected. I never thought anything like this was really possible. You know, I've dreamed about getting a 3 in comp before, but I had no idea it would be possible, even like especially at this point in my life, where I'm not averaging consistently sub 8 in comp, which I know I can do, but I never thought something like this would happen this soon, and I'm absolutely over the moon. But yeah, when I first saw that, when I stopped the timer, I was just totally in shock because it was such an unlikely but insane thing to happen. And I stood up and I wasn't even thinking, oh my god, that's NR. I wasn't thinking, oh my god, that's overall PB. I was just thinking, you know, that's a 3. That's a 3. That's a 3. Did that just happen? Like, just going round and round in my head until very slowly it started to sink in that that did actually happen. And, you know, we checked the scramble and it was correct. Everything was fine. I showed the solution to loads of people and it was just insane. You know, I mean, the things I wouldn't do to go back and have that moment all over again. It's just absolutely insane. And like I said, I stand by my solution. I think I did absolutely the best I could have done on that scramble. And that means for the rest of my life I get to wake up every day and know that the first digit of my PR is a 3. And that's not something I ever thought I'd be able to say. So yeah, I'm really happy with how that went, obviously. And of course, massive congratulations to Aiden. Some more fun facts for you about this round. We both beat our previous PR singles by exactly 2 seconds, which is, again, like surely 1 in a million chance. And it was the first round in cubing history where more than one person got a sub 4. So that's another way that we both have gone down in history, and that's absolutely awesome. And again, if you've seen my video, you'd have been able to see Felix and the Via brothers in the background right behind me in the waiting area. And, you know, they're all former world champions. Felix and Philip are obviously 3x3 world champions. Felix has held about as many world records as anyone else in the world put together in 3x3, and that's just unbelievable. That solve beats all of their PRs, and you know, I really can't believe it. It was really something special. But anyway, I think at this point I'm just sort of repeating things I've already said on Discord, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you guys for watching so much. There will probably be more videos and stuff where I mention this coming out soon. I know I mentioned about doing a 391 subscriber special when I get there eventually. I'll be working on that, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks again so much, everyone, for all the love and support after this. I'm really happy. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching, and keep chasing your dreams, because you never know when they might come true.